All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to Dash's Old White Road, episode 32. I'm here with Digny, Xeen, Neku Boy, Damien, and Galaxy, and we've got King Alucard returning. He's in the back. He'll be filling in after Neku Boy goes for his doctor's appointment.
I have a funny question.
For who?
For
No.
everyone. I have a funny question for everyone. Why is everyone going to the doctor suddenly? Everyone seems to be getting ill for some reason. Don't know why. Don't
Well,
Maybe
I
he's
haven't,
the Digny.
I haven't been to the doctor in a while, so there you go.
Everyone's getting ill. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
not going to the doctor, but you know.
Good, because you can't afford the medical bill after all your new tech.
Ooh.
It's great to see everyone.
Pretty
Great
much.
to see everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for the raid, Slay. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone here. We got to blitz through the introduction because Neku is only going to be here for half an hour because he's got to get something checked out. I don't know what, but it's certainly something. And hopefully everyone enjoys today's show. I think we should just hop into the first topic.
All right.
Damien might be having some technical issues, so please do forgive him. He is African. So on that note, let's talk about our first topic.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Should have had it ready. Okay.
No, we've been doing this for 32 weeks. I thought you got, relaxed around in this sort of environment. It's been 32 fucking weeks.
All right, so yeah, here's the first one. This blew up on X. I actually so this VTuber was complaining about being denied commissions because of politics, and then switching over to AI, and then people still hating him for that.
Yep.
You know,
what that's called? Yeah. It's called life.
Yeah. My solution
we had no
to
other choice.
Yeah, let's see if we go to the quote retweets. My suggestion to them was to just do what I do and use the ult. The artists don't really check for the ult. Let's see if I can find.
Scroll up. Up. Some more. Go on, up.
Is that you?
What? Yeah. A right-wing artist. If you actually press into it, a right-wing artist inadvertently made me and my mentor into a person. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, like this guy's.
Oh yeah, George. Yeah.
I'm familiar with his work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great image of a depressed-looking woman in her late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, you can't.
Like, let's see. I can find the quartering jump scare right there.
Oh.
Gotta be careful here, folks. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, we don't get taken down.
Yeah, don't know what we might see here.
Well,
a black woman. Was that a black woman?
That was just a GIF I posted.
The live. It's Dash Attack.
It's a GIF, not a GIF.
Whatever.
Are we gonna stop that now?
I can't find it.
It doesn't matter. What matters is, folks, I'm going to boil this down into a topic for like a minute, and then I can play a clip and be like the quartering. Basically, artists are coping and seething as VTubers start to use AI-based systems. Why? Because, we live in a free market system where you can reject commissions based on ideology. Well, I'll take my services to the clankers who won't complain about my ideology, at least not yet. Now check out this video of someone juggling oranges. What are these oranges for? I got to do that once, just as a parody. But this image, it just looks depressing. This is what happens when you interact with Digny for a year. You just get depressed. You just get depressed, and you wanna do things. Okay, so now we're going to get some panel perspective because we always appreciate that. Don't worry, Dash, if you couldn't find your source. It's all about getting people's
Oh.
perspections on
Yeah,
the show.
I mean,
to
it was
find
just
his own
I was
post.
looking for one of my comments about
That's
saying
all right.
basically use an alt because the artists don't tend to check. Like I have probably gotten commissions from tons of like left wing artists that wouldn't approve of shit I say on my main.
No, absolutely. Everyone I work with IRL would hate my ideology, but they still work with me. So let's start off with Dash and work our way down. So Dash, you recommended this topic. What do you make of artists coping and seething?
Well, there's actually a meme going on in the VTuber community of like VTubers holding up a sign saying "I'm evil because I use AI," and I tried to get in on that meme
Yeah, I saw.
a while back. So yeah, there is like pushback against like the anti-AI stuff and these gatekeeping commissions over like political stuff has been a thing for a while. I mean, like, if you're vocal about anything, like, like you risk like getting like blacklisted by maybe an artist you like. It really all depends. Like I know cool that like really don't give a shit about politics. And basically like another solution you can do is just hire an artist from another country.
Like Indonesia.
Yeah, like Indonesia.
Or another place where you don't really know where it is on a map, but you know it's not a nice place. To be right wing in 2026 is to like your women like you like your tea without a cock in it. Okay? How is that right wing? To believe in basic fact. But that's what we're living in this day and age, and it's disgusting, quite frankly. But what about you, Xeen? What do you make of artists coping and seething as VTubers use AI-based systems for their, shall we say, works of art?
Keep using AI.
So you're pro clanker.
Well, if they're going to keep on complaining about, oh, you're wrong think or so on, I don't like it. I'm like, all right, you're not doing good business. So I just go do it myself.
Rather than just reject people, they should accept and then just make B-level art, right? Just good enough for the sale, but just bad enough not to be A grade, right? And that's a much better way of doing it, as a means to an end type stuff. But what about you, Galaxy? What do you make of all this?
Well, when you were saying like getting the commissions or whatever overseas, on my model, I obviously everything I pretty much all of it kind of made myself except for the outfit, and the outfit was made actually over here in the U.S. but they were just like really nice and everything. Didn't talk about politics or anything like that. They just did the job. So so if you can find someone like that, that's fine. But
yeah, my Dignies. The more modern-looking Dignies, folks, they were made for me by a Muslim, a content creator and a games developer, Mustafa. You guys know Mustafa? I recommended him for the Monday show. I don't recommend him for the Friday show because I don't want him to have a heart attack. Just look at this panel. Inviting a Muslim onto this panel would not be the best of ideas.
Yeah,
that's coming from me.
Wouldn't like Damien or Dash. I don't think.
Well, I actually know.
Or
I
Neko.
I know a gay Muslim from Indonesia. Again, there it is again. It always comes up, Indonesia.
Well, I mean, Mustafa's not gay, so that's probably
I'd love to meet your friend, Dash. Contradiction in terms incarnate. Because that's what gay Muslim and Indonesian are.
Oh no, he is like closeted outside of the internet.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
What's his name?
I'm not disclosing that.
No, I'm making a point. His name should be Leave. Leave now. Yeah. Leave now, like right now. Like yesterday. Just leave. But how about you, Damien, if you can hear me?
Oh wait,
What do you make of
I wasn't really done anyway. I was gonna say that I do agree with Xeen. Just go and continue using AI.
probably gave Damien enough time to hear me. Damien!
Is
Damien!
someone talking? I'm so
Yes.
dead right now.
Yes, cocksucker, I'm talking. Damien!
This embodied voice is crazy.
Damien! Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear
me?
you. Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you. You can't hear me. Get your ears cleaned. I told you ear sex was bad. All right, we'll just skip over to Neku. Neku,
What?
since you're... See, look, he can
I
hear
wasn't-
me, but 20 seconds into the future. Neku, Neku. Quiet, Damien. Quiet, you cocksucker. Neku, I hope you can hear me, otherwise this is going to sound offensive. What do you make of this
I
topic?
can hear. So, gosh, I guess the first thing to start with replies. The response on the left was, "Oh, just don't be right wing," and naturally, the highest rated response to that was, in other words, just all you had to do was comply. So, yeah, they've made very clear what their opinion is, and personally, like, yeah, I don't care if you use AI, but at the same time, I think that's all the more reason to find other right-wing artists or even people just neutral who don't give a care. And this is something people like Eric July from Ripaverse talk about a lot, is basically making a parallel economy. If you're booting us out, then fine, we're going to support each other and give each other money instead.
Yeah, that's kind of
Exactly.
like what's happening with like VTubing. Like, you know, you have people moving away from like the Twitch crowds and like doing their own thing, independent stuff. Like, there's a lot more like, you know, free thinking, like centrist, conservative, like whatever VTubers.
Yeah,
like,
the
out
past
there.
couple years, I've seen more like right-wing VTubers.
Yeah, or
crazy.
centrist. It's basically just non-leftists at this point. Like,
Yeah.
because like they think everyone's far right.
But I will
Yeah, it's
say
crazy.
that some of those people pretending to be right wingers aren't actual right wingers.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, there
They're
can
called-
be grifting on both sides. I've seen it.
They're called gay people. Because in all honesty, folks, when they say, well, don't be right wing, my response would be, well, don't be gay. But that's offensive if I say that to you.
Yeah.
But you say that to me, oh, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly. Don't be right wing. My response, don't be a queer. How about that?
Dash
Also,
weekends is scrolling.
don't be
Oh,
the R
it-
word, I guess you'd say. But I don't know.
I was still looking for the thing. I was still looking for the thing.
I
It's-
was gonna say careful because in my bookmarks it's dangerous to scroll.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, we
No,
can
like,
argue
I'm
for-
very good at balancing what I retweet.
I know you're very good at balancing that. You call Neku right wing when you check out his official page and he's got cartoon fisting. I mean, come on.
I mean, he's not right wing. He's
I'm a-
center right.
I mean,
like he's kind of like where I am politically.
How is
okay.
any of that conservative? What are you conserving? Your
Well, I'm-
prostate?
The right to
I'm more of a
degeneracy.
libertarian, okay? I'm like Ron Paul.
You Ron Paul into fisting? Let's do a poll and find out.
It's
Let's
happening.
ask him. He's
It's
not dead.
happening.
Goodness me. No, it's just when I think about the way the discourse has shifted, no one on this panel, apart from maybe me, could be considered right wing. No one. Not even Damien. Damien is a
Listen,
walking
I'm a
contradiction.
fascist.
You're a contradiction. No, he's a contradiction, right? How can you support policies that would cancel you out if they were executed? That's called a contradiction, ladies and gentlemen. I'm emphasizing the dick
Listen,
in
I am just
contradiction.
I am just fighting for the right of the European to exist, even if it means I
Yeah.
must be expelled.
Yes, because they're your favorites, because you're into that stuff, okay? What I want, and I think that's what we all want, is a bit of stability, understanding. We want the wheel to stop spinning as quickly, because we see the world as it is today, and we see crazy types spinning the wheel faster and faster and faster. Well, it's going to come off the rails eventually. And wherever that wheel goes, it's going to run a lot of people over, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. And that's why I think it's important for us to utilize new technology across many creative industries. And the artists who reject people based on their ideology can simply cope and seethe.
But can I have something
Simple.
to say on this?
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe.
thank you. Oh, maybe.
No.
Shall I do a dance to persuade you to give me a yes?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can't dance.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. The entire thing about that situation is just the fact for me is artists at times will reject clients for any reason. I've seen someone decide to reject doing commissions if they draw gay men, but they're completely fine drawing gay women in their art. Artists, unfortunately, don't have a consistent standard on what their clientele is. But the fact that when it comes to suddenly politics, it's like, oh no, I can't take your money. Meanwhile, with the artists that I get, I try to encourage them. I'm like, listen, just do what you need to do and work with the people. It's like, just get the money. So I find this like just shooting themselves in the foot. And then King Alucard, I wish I had a proper mic, but unfortunately, the room I'm in is not that
He's
big.
fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay?
I worry about him.
All right,
King
then.
Digny.
Any other comments before we move on to the... I dropped a pen. Before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I guess I kind of like to stand by something. Gosh, I can't remember if it was Raging Eagle or someone else, but I kind of like the motto, don't give money to people who hate you.
Yep.
Because, like, now granted, as demonstrated here, right-wingers are a lot more tolerant of different opinions, but we still have
Yeah.
limits, like the people who praised Charlie Kirk's murder. I noped out of anyone who celebrated that.
Good on you, man. Yeah, that was a line for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's just basic human decency. That's such a low bar to set.
Mm-hmm.
I
will be
try my...
back and look at something.
Yep. That's
Okay.
fine, Damien. Go get your food. Okay? Don't fill yourself too up. Basically, we're entering a period of deep uncertainty and instability. And I think it's very important for us to know where things are at going forward. Because we're dealing with lunatics. And do we want them running the asylum? No, we want them locked away for their own good and for our good as well. And that's why we have to, in a sense, embrace the new technology and abandon these lunatic artists for the sake of our future. It's the only way.
Look,
They got to be
I
phased
found-
out.
I found it. I found my tweet.
Ooh.
Good. It took you 17 minutes.
No, wait, that's nope. Wrong window. Wrong window.
Dang it.
Right? Right. It's going to be close to 18 minutes at this point.
Well, on my
Oh.
clock is 18.
On my clock, it
Yeah,
just
that'd
turned
be fine,
19.
but-
So
Oh, yeah, 19 now.
Just want to
Yeah.
make sure I open the right one. You know what? I'll close out any tab that isn't it.
You got
Oh,
any
yeah.
problematic tabs up, Dash?
Possibly.
Christ, this show is not that lackluster that you
you might
need.
need to zoom in on
something
it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So like,
Stimulated.
it's basically what I already reiterated my point. Use the alt. People have not like canceled me over anything using that alt account, the lewd dash alt.
Yeah, well, that account is, in all fairness, anyone who's checked out Dash's secondary account knows he's a dirty bastard.
So true.
My goodness. Let me just show this to the folks over at Tangent Kings. Is like, oh,
Oh God,
That'd be
you
the
showed
reaction.
him? Fuck.
no, No, it would be the hypothetical if I did, but you've just given me a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
Or if
you
I
did.
showed them Neku's, account, it's like, yeah, Neku's a great guy. Check out his fisting video. It's like, what? Right? And it's not shock value. It's there. It's available. Yet somehow Dash and Neku are considered right-leaning. You get my point? You get my point how crazy all of this is framed?
Oh yeah,
And here's a
absolutely.
great recent example. I'm sure we all know the abomination known as Niara. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like recently in a tweet, she called Destiny right wing.
What?
What the fuck?
What?
A person who absolutely hates Trump and any Republican. Oh, he's right wing because he's a
I
liberal. He's not a
fucking hate
socialist.
Nara. I hate Nara so much. Oh my god, Digny, you should go down the Nara rabbit hole.
No. I'm not going to
It
talk
has
about
all your
someone
favorite
who's
topics. It's trans,
I-
it's VTubing,
it-
it's
I
Why would
believe
I
they're a
talk about
socialist.
someone-
Oh no, they are. They
I-
absolutely are. Why else would they complain about liberals?
I mean, quite frankly, why would I talk about someone whose name I can't pronounce? Seriously. You seen that name? Like, I'm going to rename you Twat. That's your name now. It's Twat.
Even a short fat otaku made a pretty good video deconstructing their arguments about all the trans stuff.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and
We're living in-
Yara didn't even
we-
watch it; just hated it because, oh, you're a liberal, you're not left wing enough. So even though you support trans rights, because I disagree with you on like one or two aspects of
Yeah.
it, you're just a transphobe.
Nara like made a video like attacking Christians. Like it's like this person is a very hateful lunatic. And,
Hey, Twat. Why don't you make one about Jews and see how much courage you really have? Or maybe Muslims or Hindus.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I'm sure they're all on the like Free Palestine, even though like
yeah.
they destroy me.
Yeah.
As they should, because they have a functioning civilization. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we want to move to the second topic, give Neku some time to talk about this second topic, because he has to pop off pretty soon. Or get popped, or one of those things. But if you haven't already, folks, like the stream. Donations are always welcome. Well, Dash, you told me he has to go to the doctor, but for all I know, that's a euphemism. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I knew you were going to make
I mean-
that joke. I knew you were going to make that joke. But yeah,
Hey,
so
I'm a very innocent person, you know.
Innocent.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Well,
have to be. I
anyway,
gave the show
this
to
was
you.
a topic I wanted to do because it was based on something I had covered recently. Nintendo of America famously, like one of their recent like big turns was banning a franchise that they once allowed on their platform. Like you can get Death End Request 1 and 2 on Nintendo Switch, but you couldn't get it on North America. They outright banned this Code Z game. So, thanks to Play Asia, they're releasing the Asia English version overseas, where the other branches of Nintendo allow it, and then they import through Play
Yeah.
Asia.
Well, Switch is region free, so
Okay, so
This was
I
serious.
don't know this game. Why was it banned, or do people
Well,
think it was?
female fan service, and like possibly just like it's a horror franchise. It's an RPG horror franchise about corrupted video games with broken code. So like
Okay.
corrupted VR.
And
Okay.
you think the most likely reason was the fan service?
Yeah, probably the
pretty
fan
much.
service, and
Which
just
is
like
crazy
it's always
because
censorship.
like about 10 years ago, Nintendo was actually like the least censorious, and the PS4 was.
yeah,
That's
I
why
know it kind
games
of
like
changed.
Senran Kagura, were discontinued.
Yeah, funny enough, PlayStation allowed this game. Nintendo didn't.
Why do they keep like switching? Like,
I know.
I don't get it.
It's so weird.
I say it's the CEOs, since
It could
Yeah,
be.
Reggie, we lost because we lost Reggie.
And
Excuse me. I'll tell you why. You get a lawsuit, and you get a lawsuit, and you get a lawsuit. Everyone gets a lawsuit. There's your reason. While Xbox is rebuilding itself despite being led by a lovely Indian woman. And you'll never hear me say that again. But this is a very interesting topic, Dash. I always like learning new things. But it is a very interesting loophole. This banned Switch game has effectively found a loophole to debut and essentially expand. Now, could other games potentially use this loophole? I don't know.
yeah,
But what I do know, what?
this loophole's been here for a while now. For
That's good. It's very good. But the point
Yeah,
I was going
like
to make is that will this loophole be closed as a means of stopping any more potential games going through?
well, they would have
That's
to
great.
ban the game completely from all markets outside of Japan.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if that's going to like happen because I'm pretty sure they would get global backlash if even more people couldn't play these games.
Or it
I
might just
wouldn't be
be too much
surprised.
effort than it's worth.
It could be, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo did. This is a company that has gone down the rabbit hole of death and destruction, quite
I was
frankly.
gonna say they are known for being petty, so
Yes.
it's a mystery.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. But it's always nice to learn new things, new games, new franchises. I'll tell you one thing, guys. No one else is going to talk about this topic, and that's why I appreciate this show and the format that
Yep.
we use.
It's a niche topic. No one would really
Mm.
talk about it because it's a very, very niche franchise that only like 3
Mm.
people have heard of.
How
Well,
about you pronounce it?
Death
What's his
End
name, Dash?
Request Code Z.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I've heard PlayAsia for a long time because I've even used PlayAsia because there's a lot of games that have actual full English translation. They're actually pretty good English translation that are like never came to the US, never went to Europe. So yeah,
I think
Yeah.
there's a reason for that. I think you're going to see the dynamic shift among the console gaming brands. I think Xbox, through its regime change, has finally realized if we don't adapt, we're going to die as a company. So that's why you're seeing the rebrand. That's why you're seeing the Game Pass price go down. That's why you're seeing the narrative being pushed that we're going to make the Xbox brand more affordable. Xbox have finally taken the decision to take the spot Nintendo had during the Wii and the Switch era to be the number 3, while
You know
Switch has
things are
decided,
bad when they're willing to
Mhm.
drop the price.
Yeah.
yeah, because they recognize that they're not number 2 anymore in the console space. They recognize that they're number 3.
Honestly, Sony isn't too far behind. They really do need to drop this live service shit and like get to like making like games that like actual gamers want to play, not just movie watchers and journalists.
Well, Sony's in a difficult position because they're stuck between set in their ways, exclusivity, and tapping into new markets on the PC platform. I don't know where they're going to go with that. With Nintendo, they've decided to up their game and take Xbox's place in the console space, but they're ruining their reputation in doing so. And I know it's only very recent and very early for Xbox, but I think they're pivoting to be number 3 and being the affordable console game. Now, Project Helix could completely undermine that, and then by the end of the decade, we have to pay for a $2,000 Xbox, which would completely defeat the point of having it. But it's been what I've been trying to say about Xbox for the longest time. Lower your damn prices. Microsoft is the biggest entity. It is literally the biggest entity in Western gaming. It can take a financial hit through lowering prices.
Especially after how many people they laid off.
Yes. they're dieting in a sense. They're going lean, so they can afford to take a financial hit while someone takes a call. Someone's getting the call. Get off this show now. But Microsoft can do that in order to bring people back in. Would you rather spend $80 on a Nintendo Switch 2 Witcher 4 or $50 Witcher 4 on the Xbox? What are you going to do? What are you going to pick? Because that's the mindset Xbox have got to take. They're going to take a hit, but in that hit, it encourages more people to play on the system because it's cheaper. It's cheaper and it's cost effective.
And
Yeah, you
also
build brand
with how
loyalty.
with how Xbox is, you can end up playing on the PC. So you have
Yeah.
the Xbox and the PC. So people might gravitate.
And think of it, with the rise of digital, like they don't actually like lose anything lowering the price, since like, you know, they don't have to pay for distribution like as much.
I think the physical aspect needs to remain for Xbox.
It has to remain.
Mainly because they're in the process of rebuilding. They have to rebuild, which means they have to draw in a new player base. The only way they can draw a new player base is to be the cost-effective one. They cannot draw people in through massive quality games, because most of their massive quality games are legacy titles that honestly don't draw people in anymore. I mean, look at the state of Halo. Look at the state of Gears of War. I mean, the only Xbox branded game that has any kind of life left in it is Forza. And even then, if they make a mistake with Horizon 6 in Japan, if they get that wrong, if it doesn't work properly, it's game over. So they've got to be the cost-effective company like Nintendo used to be. Remember how cheap the Wii was in comparison to the PS3 and the Xbox 360? The console for everyone.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
poor GameCube sales, they had to be the
Yeah.
cheap option to win people over, and it worked.
Yeah,
And
which is why
they
like
gotta
I
do
can't
it.
stand like these Nintendo like defenders. Like, you know, I mean, like we'll never get a 3DS Ambassador Pass deal ever again. That was like one of the greatest things ever.
And
was
I always
innovative.
point. Oh, sorry.
Go on. No, go on.
I was
Go
gonna
on.
say
You
I
haven't
always
got
point
time.
to the people in charge are. I mean, economic reasons aside, like poor sales, it's also the people in charge, like Reggie Fils-Aimé. He is the reason Wii Sports was free and bundled with the Switch, because he fought for that. Unlike Doug Bowser, who just went along with everything, never challenged or questioned Nintendo Japan.
Yeah. And whenever you have to pop off, Neku, by all means,
Yeah,
it's
I got a few
just
minutes.
we're entering an arena where survival is at stake, right? Look at Sega. Sega is a great example because Sega knew that it had been battered and beaten to the point where they tried to make the best of the best system with the Sega Saturn. It just didn't take off. Others could do it better and cheaper. So they had to pivot almost completely with the Dreamcast to make a great console. They had to make a great console with off-the-shelf products, and they managed to do it. Had the PlayStation 2 never existed, Sega would still be in console gaming. I dare to say that's how successful the Dreamcast would have been if the PS2 didn't exist. And you guys, you got to remember that if the PS2 didn't exist, Xbox would never have been a thing. Because one of the things people have to realize is the original Xbox is just a Sega Dreamcast on steroids.
I think half of it is also just because the Saturn sold poorly, they were already kind of in a bad position. So if the Dreamcast
they were in
didn't
debt.
sell enough,
Oh,
They were in debt. That's why they had to make the Dreamcast practically off the shelf equipment. But somehow they made a great system with budget off the shelf systems. It's incredible. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
that-
Xeen.
no, it was the fact that they didn't stop making the older consoles either. So they were very split between making their Dreamcast, Saturn. They were still even making like new Genesis console.
Really? That is amazing.
So they were so thin.
No.
If they stopped making the older consoles, they might be still around.
And now we know. And now we know why companies, generation after generation, they ultimately abandon their old stuff, because the last company that didn't ended up dead. Because that's what companies within any industry, they learn from the demise of their opponents and competitors. This is what our opponents did to die. We must never do that. And I think Microsoft and Xbox have realized that no, it's not 2001, it's 2026. We've got to pivot. We've got to lean into the Xbox brand, and we've got to embrace it. We've got to take the position that Nintendo abandoned and let the Switch 2 and its successors drown in the position we were once drowning in. Because let's face facts, guys. Xbox, especially with the Xbox One, was drowning in second place behind Sony and the PlayStation 4. Whereas Nintendo took a completely different approach. They completely pivoted after the disaster of the Wii U, and they decided to go in a more cost-effective, family-friendly direction. And it did wonders.
I'll never forget Sony's response to the Xbox One. Just this
Oh,
1 minute
God.
video of how to share games with your friends. Hands it to the other CEO. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
And I think there will come a time, because Sony wants to pivot to a more digital landscape with the PlayStation, which means they're going to heavily invest now in PS Plus and more PC crossovers. We
Well,
could
yeah.
enter a period where Xbox becomes more physical, theoretically.
Well, physical media was part of the big pushback against the Xbox One, but now like people are more conditioned to digital than they were back in.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox learned the wrong lessons from the PlayStation 2. What made the PlayStation 2 so successful?
The DVD
The fact
player.
that the fact that it wasn't just a games console, it was a multimedia system. Or a dual media system, if you want to be specific about it. So
Yeah.
Xbox decided, why don't we do a similar thing, but have, not just the internet, but Netflix and movies and all that stuff. It was very ambitious. It was even more ambitious considering how weak the console specs were, which means it was probably doomed from the start. Adding the Kinect 2.0, which got phased out pretty quick, didn't help. So it just goes to show you've got to learn lessons from previous mistakes, not just of your own company, but of other companies. And in 10 to 15 years' time, Nintendo will learn the lessons of their mistakes from this era. And they will. They'll pay a heavy price with the Switch 3 and the Switch 4. Because what can they change within the Switch concept, guys? What can they change to make it better?
They kind of addressed everything in the Switch too. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm perfectly content with Switch 2 right now.
well,
Which is
their
why-
Joy-Cons are still practically the same from the
That's
first
true.
Slightly
system.
bigger.
So they're going to be the drifting going to be happening.
Yeah, I haven't had any drift problems so far.
That's why I personally believe that the Switch 2 should have been called the Super Nintendo Switch. Because there's no way...
Or just Super Switch.
Or the Super Switch. I prefer the Super Nintendo Switch personally because of the
Mhm.
of the callback. Because after this, I don't see a way beyond shallow things like a bigger screen, bigger controller, bigger this, bigger that. You know why the Super Switch would not take off as a concept? Because it's got SS. It would be
Ooh.
abbreviated as the Nintendo SS, right? It's like, no, you don't make your brand SS. Not even the side scrollers can get away with that. I can't wait for Kotaku to make an
Well,
article.
technically, I mean, their logo has SS in it, but
Yeah. I can't wait for Kotaku to make an article saying the side scrollers are the digital SS. Because technically it is correct. It's manipulative, but it's technically correct. It's not fake. It's just very manipulative.
Mhm.
And on that note,
As-
I need to go.
All
Bye
right.
for
Thank you
now,
for joining
Neku.
us. Thank you.
See you, Neku.
All right. We're going to add King Alucard in. Hey, thanks you for
Yeah.
waiting.
What do you make of this?
Is muted.
Hey, Mushroom King. What do you
okay,
make
there
of
he
this?
is. There he is.
Oh, what do I think of this?
Yes.
I've got no comment really, honestly.
Good. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our third topic. Like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Our third topic, all right now, we're blitzing through these 40 minutes
Holy
and
shit.
40
Oh.
seconds. What's the matter? What's the
Oh,
matter, Dan?
they announced a Switch 2 version for FF14.
Oh.
Oh, so it's going to be kind of like the mobile version.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, speaking of companies announcing rip-offs of existing things, quote, Ubisoft heads to the brink, reviving Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, Ubisoft, likewise with Xbox, know the writings on the wall. They know that the challenge is very high for them to return to their former glory. So, do you know what they decide to do? Let's reskin Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's it. That's all they've done. They have literally used Assassin's Creed Shadows.
They're using
And
the same
put a
engine?
black-
No.
Yeah,
it's kind of, but not really. But even still.
Well, it either is or it isn't. And from my perspective, they've skin suited this. Because this shit looks better than Skull and Bones, which means it could only have come from the Shadows engine or whatever they call it. From
They call it the
engine
Anvil engine.
which stems from the new era of Ubisoft that was used for Origins and for Valhalla and for Shadows. It's
Mirage
a skin
also used
suit.
it too, and that was not
And
that bad.
Mirage, yes, thank you for that, Galaxy. The point is, Ubisoft, they can only use their legacy titles now. They can't make anything new with them because that's Tencent's responsibility now.
Mhm.
So this is an attempt to draw people in. Will it work? I don't know. If it looks good, if it plays well.
Oh my god.
apparently-
I see it. The yellow paint. It's there.
Yeah.
All over the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
course
And
it
I
is.
was waiting for someone to point that out.
another thing I don't like, because I already mentioned this before on X and stuff, though.
Yeah.
That there's no shadows on a damn ship. There's like probably.
Yeah,
But
it's quite.
The other problem is this: it's that there's no personality in the resynced version.
Of
Yeah.
course not,
Because
'cause-
if I look at this, I'd be like,
Everything's-
"Oh, it's another AAA title."
Yeah, it's
looks
completely watered down, no personality. Where the original, look at all that personality.
Yeah, I mean the
I have
only thing we could say that's obviously the obvious thing is that in the original there was like a storm going on in this cutscene. The resync doesn't have it, but that's because the resync version's got dynamic weather and a system in there, so that's why it's
Well,
not there. But
It's good that you mentioned that, Galaxy, because the only thing better in the resynced version is the water. That's
yeah,
it.
because it uses the new engine. Yeah.
And I looked at comparing how the ship moves.
Well, even
Between-
the backdrop with the with some of the islands actually is a lot more detailed now though too. So
the comparison between the same ship in the two different versions,
yeah,
the resync version is straight out of Origins. The ship's straight. It's not even the same damn ship. You just look on deck. It's not the same ship.
yeah. They added different stuff to it, which just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it looks like they're using like the same animations on the models. Like, so
Yeah,
they're
the models.
using some of the original code, it seems,
Mhm.
but like everything is like completely new. And honestly, like, I don't know. I prefer this type of remake over what they did to Resident Evil 4, which I know people like that remake, but I honestly
Mhm.
think it was kind of sacrilege what they did with RE4.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
because Capcom want to rewrite their own history when it comes to Resident Evil. My worry is if this is successful, other Assassin's Creed titles will get the same treatment.
Oh
Whether
God,
whether
no!
whether it's
Yeah.
Unity or Rogue or
The
did they have a
original.
Revelations
Or
one?
yeah, I was gonna say, or God forbid, the
Yeah.
original Assassin's Creed or the other
Yeah.
ones
Well,
afterwards.
they had the Ezio trilogy remastered.
Yeah,
And
but I mean
you know
that's not really a
well,
remaster. It's more just a
well there's a
upgraded port.
difference. There's a difference between remaster, remake, and apparently resynced because all the history stuff, all the stuff where you're, the real person at Abs to Go or whatever that company was, it's not in the resynced version.
Abstergo.
What?
Yeah,
It's not
I
in
Oh,
don't.
yeah, you mean Abstergo? Yeah, they're cutting
Yeah,
that out because that
Yeah.
whole plot line has gone off the rails in the newer games. It didn't go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they also are removing all the online too. So it's just single player
It
only.
didn't really serve a purpose at all in the original release, anyways.
Let's point something out, guys. Likewise with Capcom in terms of Resident Evil, Ubisoft's rewriting its own history, and we can't reward that, even if it is a
Mhm.
good game. You cannot allow companies to get away with rewriting the history of the franchises that brought them to where they are today, because what it will lead to is a complete corruption of what led to the success of these companies. It's like remaking a television show, the Netflix effect. We remake a television show, and everyone's black, everyone's gay,
Oh,
we
I was
rewrite
getting
things.
flack for like making a joke that they didn't race swap the Scooby Doo gang. I was actually getting like flacked for making that fucking joke.
Yeah, it's the Netflix effect. Now, people have cottoned onto it, and even companies have cottoned onto it, and you can't do it every single time. Otherwise, people will just
Mhm.
abandon it. Look at the Velma TV show, right?
Yeah,
I don't think that was on Netflix, but you get
it's
my drift. A
HBO. Yeah.
streaming show, right? And I think it's very important for people to realize Ubisoft is on the edge of death. Legacy Ubisoft, Tencent's Ubisoft is making Morbid Metal, a $20 game that looks fantastic, although it's a bit buggy. Ubisoft published that when it looks like a fucking 10-cent game. It's Tencent's
Mhm.
Ubisoft. This is Legacy Ubisoft, which is on the edge of death. If the resynced version is successful, we will be breathing life back into one of the worst gaming companies in the Western world. Now, if you want to do that, if you want to give these people a second chance, they'll resync all of the old Assassin's Creed games. If they all
Mhm.
do as well as this resync version, the company could get back on its feet and make newer properties. And the beast we nearly slayed is now got 3 fucking heads instead of 1.
I just keep rewatching this, and it's just like it's just the whole lighting difference really bugs me.
Yeah, I prefer the
Yeah.
original.
No, but
For
the
goodness
thing
sake.
is for that is they don't know how to do lighting nowadays in
Yeah.
gaming.
The character models themselves are a little better, but that's about
I mean,
it.
like you can see Edward's got grime on his face, and he doesn't have that in the.
I have
Yeah.
a different
Yeah, well,
perspective.
yeah, I didn't
but
mean like that, but
The-
I have a
the-
different
the
perspective, but I'll bring it
original-
up later.
The original game with this cutscene and with other cutscenes, they were made directly under specific circumstances. The resync version, it has the dynamic weather system, which means it's generalized. So this scene
Mhm.
could be different if it's nighttime, for example. Because if they have a day-night cycle, they could have a bright day,
I mean,
stormy day cycle.
Yeah. That cutscene could also have a storm too, but it just
Yeah.
it wasn't there for the cutscene that they filmed. So
It's just we're trying to put a circle or a cylinder into a square hole here because they're not the same. There's
mhm.
the original and there's the adapted version using the latest in Ubisoft technology. The
Yeah, yellow
original,
paint
just like all,
technology.
I mean, the original was made with specific systems. the resync version uses generalized systems. That's why older games look better and more polished, because they're as sharp as a spear or an arrow in how they were made. Whereas with remastered, remade, resynced versions, they're generalized. So the tip of that arrow is blunt, so they can make more of it because it's easier to do. That's the danger here. And the great danger is this will then bring new audiences in who will essentially get hooked on resynced versions of Ubisoft games in the same way new audiences are hooked to the rewritten history of Resident Evil under Capcom. Is Resident Evil in a strong place today? Yes.
Technically.
And that's bad. Because it's got nothing to do with its origins anymore. So take your pick, guys. I can't imagine this game being $50, $60 because Ubisoft are desperate. They're desperate for resources.
Yeah,
So
it
make
is
it
$60.
$30.
It is 60.
Well, then die in a ditch,
$90.
Ubisoft. You don't deserve any fucking life. Thoughts and perspectives, everyone. We'll start off with Dash.
Well, I really like the original. I was a little disappointed with 3, and then and of course with the death of Desmond and stuff. But then 4 was really good. It was nice seeing an Assassin's Creed story from an outsider's perspective. And doing the pirate stuff, I loved raiding the ships. It's what I wanted to do in Pirates of the Caribbean Online, but you couldn't do it because you couldn't hurt civilians in that game.
Yeah.
So it was really good to I also like the story. I actually kind of sort of cried a little bit when he sees his friends, spoilers. The people he lost along the way, and he gets to reignite with his daughter. Yeah, I know. I'm spoiling the whole fucking game.
There are people watching the show that are younger than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's why it's
How
getting
old is-
remade.
How old is that game?
It came out in
15 years old.
2013 or
Yeah, somewhere around
2014.
Oh wait, I'm older than
It
that
is?
game.
I thought it came out in 2011.
It came out. It was I had the Xbox One version, so I know it was at least
I'm gonna
after
check this. No, not Assassin's Creed Shadows. Why would I want to know about
It
that?
came out in 2013, like in October.
Right, so it's a 13-year-old game. Why is it getting remade?
because
It's
it
like
was
if the-
highly praised. It was probably the last unanimously praised Assassin's
It was
Creed
highly
game.
praised for certain things, not the whole game. There was a lot of problems with the game.
Fuck me. BioWare should have
Well-
just remade Dragon Age Inquisition. At that point.
What were your
I'll-
problems?
I'll
We don't talk
explain
about
it
that
when we get.
game.
I'll explain it when we get to my point. But right
Okay.
now, you're on the point.
Yeah, so
Nice.
point being this was the last really good that was before because after that Unity had its issues. Syndicate was it was kind of more of the same Assassin's Creed, but it didn't really catch wind. And then we got into Origins, which completely rebranded the series.
Are we not going to talk about the knockoff Assassin's Creed that was made, I think, exclusively for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 called Assassin's Creed Rogue?
Oh no, that was basically just reused assets from 3 and 4. It's basically a continuation, like a side game.
Which just goes to show you can literally make the same game under different circumstances a little later, and everyone will condemn it for being dog shit. But if you make it a year earlier on new generation tech, it's adored. Which
Some
is what Black
people
Flag
do
is.
really like that game, and it is one as an I know we don't do representation or I need to be represented, but I know how many games star an Irishman?
Not many. And thank God.
Don't you want your woman abuse?
No, I'm British.
I'm like
Isn't that
90% Irish, so like, interesting he joins the Templars.
Of
That's the
course.
whole point, is like getting the game from the other perspective.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
wanted to make it because they wanted to make a game exclusively for the previous generation of consoles because they didn't want to leave anyone behind. It's like, no, you just wanted to make another rip-off game. I think Assassin's Creed Rogue was the first rip-off Ubisoft game. Now they just make a rip-off Ubisoft game all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, even still, Rogue was actually still a really good game.
It was.
compared to like the recent ones. They've been not good, but you know,
It was
it's still,
because its basis was a fantastic game. But
yeah.
thank you for
It-
that,
yeah,
Dash.
it
How
was
about
the-
you?
yeah.
How about you, Xeen? What do you make of all this?
Basically, I'm gonna, if I even get my capture card, I would just play the original Black Flag. It's like, oh yeah, no, well, I'm not playing the yellow paint simulator.
Fun fact about me: the first game I ever played with HDMI was Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the PlayStation 3. So there's a fun fact for you.
Yeah. There's like,
Go on.
I come from, games of like the My Magic, where it's like you get dropped in the world, you have to figure out where to go. There's nothing telling you where to go. There's no yellow paint. You get to actually have an adventure. And nowadays, there's no adventure. Oh, hey, there's yellow paint telling you where to go. Or some kind of like, you can press
Oh,
M or
it's
whatever
markers.
map. And it's like, every location is marked where you need to go. Yeah, I am actually taking a little shot at even my games I like, Trails in the Sky, the remake, where literally every side quest is actually marked now, where there used to be secret quests. Sorry.
I seriously, you just reminded me of something, Xeen. I seriously consider, because my kitchen has recently been fixed, refurbished rather, or improved, like it's done every 10, 20 years. And I seriously considered, because workers kept knocking on my front door, I nearly considered buying a bucket of paint, yellow paint, and painting on the wall, because there's like a side wall going into my back door. Paint using yellow paint and pointing, this is the back door, go there. Because that is the generation that literally needs that to stop them constantly knocking on the front door. Right. And speaking of
Wow.
knocking, my father is knocking to call me. So thank you for your perspective, Xeen. However, I have to get Galaxy's perspective because he will talk often enough to keep the conversation going. So, Galaxy, what do you make of all this?
Well, I really do not like Assassin's Creed recently, and even this one, I'm not even caring for it. I mean, even Ubisoft in general, I don't care for it because of how they've been, making all their games recently. So it's just, but I have played the original and I've played all the other older games too, but except for the I didn't play Shadows, of course, but but yeah. So the thing is that the way they were doing this with this new game is that from what I could tell, that it doesn't seem to be that much different, other than they're adding like extra. The combat's going to be a little different. I think they're adding like parries and stuff like that in it, which is kind of weird. But and then I kind of don't. I just don't think that it's really needed in a way, because for one, we know that they also said that they're adding more stories and more to the story and more characters and stuff. So I kind of feel afraid that they're gonna do something to those characters, like they're gonna like add in some DEI, like a lot more DEI to it. And because
Oh, you'd be amazed.
They didn't actually
Galaxy,
mention, yeah, they didn't
you-
mention that
You'd
like
be
any other stars.
amazed. Does anyone remember Assassin's Creed Liberation on the PS Vita?
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep.
Why don't they just add that into Black Flag? I have the character.
Because it's specifically tied to Assassin's
Yeah, like I
Creed.
think she's born like
Because it's specifically tied to Assassin's
yeah, like I
Creed.
think she's born like under the
Holy
timeline
shit.
doesn't add up. They would have to do like severe retcons.
This
Dash,
is
your
Ubisoft
audio
we're
is
talking.
peaking a bit.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is Ubisoft. I mean, they'll do it on a heartbeat.
Oh
if
yeah,
they
true.
wanted to.
Like Final Fantasy and Attack on Titan are now canon in the new franchise, in the new Assassin's Creed. So like
What?
I don't remember
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. Why do
Origins,
Attack on Titan?
Bahamut, and the bad guy from 15 show up in Origins as a crossover thing between the two.
Well, Attack on Titan's the only one in shadows, though. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
awful.
stupid. That should never have happened.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you got to have a black guy taking on something that's like 50 foot tall.
I mean, like the Freedom Cry DLC, like where you literally kill slavers. Like, you know, that was in the original Black Flag. That's DLC.
Yeah, I think they're not going to have that in this because
Yeah,
Wow,
gonna
they're
remove that.
cutting Adewale's story out? Damn.
I think so.
Well,
I think so
No,
because it's only going to be for the actual like. They're
There's a
adding new
reason
story,
for it.
but they're all going to be part of.
There's a reason why they're cutting out Freedom Cry, and it's not what you may think. It's technical.
Okay.
They don't have the licensing?
Well, for one, whether or not they have the source code for Freedom Cry or not is really up for debate. But the Freedom Cry itself was technically flawed and led to bricking. The DLC itself would brick systems.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ubisoft at its peak. No wonder I want the company to die.
And yeah, that's the main reason they're not doing it.
Good.
So if they were to bring it back, they wouldn't really remake it from the ground up or anything like that. So if they did remake it from the ground up, knowing that, you know, we probably would have seen it because then they could have found a way to get rid of the bricking issue. But nope, they didn't really do that. And they probably lost the source code. So they're probably not going to bring that back in general because that thing, like, for example, I played Freedom Cry and I was playing it on a PS4. And this happens on other platforms too. But if you play to a certain point, a glitch will happen that will cause the game to freeze. And after being frozen, it completely shuts off your system. And when you boot up your system again, it completely factory resets everything.
And then a little pop-up message comes up that says, "You're an idiot for playing an Ubisoft game." That's what it should say. But thank you for that, Galaxy. How about you, Damien? What do you make of all this?
I'm not really surprised that they do in a remake remaster, if you want to call it, because every other company does it. It's a guaranteed way to make money because gamers are like magpies. If it's shiny enough, they'll buy it, even if it's crap. But
Well,
I
I could say the same of your people and dildos, but
I am not like those women, Digny. I don't buy that dragon.
Dirty bastard. Carry on.
But
no.
from the other non-furry dildo store.
Yes, but I do want to say this. I am curious to see how they're going to handle the approach to the female characters, because since this is modern day Ubisoft, they are going to censor them.
Yeah, and you know, let's not forget Captain Kidd, who is a cross-dresser. Is it?
Oh no, they're going to be trans now.
Yeah.
Ew.
Because I think Alcott said
Yeah, I
they are doing
Yeah, I
new
guess we'll see.
story,
But yeah.
so they'll most
They are
likely change.
adding new stuff, so they could change stuff like that.
Did someone mention gay people?
You didn't.
We
No,
have our
I
super fan here.
See, look, and you know what's even more gayer than this? This.
Oh my gosh,
I
Digny
can't.
is gayer than me.
Right. I just do it to sell products to make money because I am a filthy capitalist trying to keep his head
You're
above
2
water.
months early.
I'm
Bring
not
your
gonna
capitalism elsewhere.
I'm
Yes,
not
he's
going to
making a
say what
reference
I
to
was
Joey.
thinking. I'm not going
Well,
to
that's
say what I
probably
was
a good
thinking.
thing. I like having my channel.
Yeah.
It's Pope Dignius the 15th.
There you go. There you go, folks. I decree I'm running for president. But no, in all seriousness, thank you, Damien, for your perspective. How about you, Alucard? What do you make of Ubisoft heading to the brink? They're so desperate they're reviving Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I mean, they were desperate long before this. I have a very different perspective when it comes to Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Ubisoft. A lot of people tend to forget that Ubisoft's downfall happened it was starting all the way back to Assassin's Creed 3, because Assassin's Creed 3 was when they started rushing their games and forcing crunch, and all that other stuff. And you would see examples of them rushing games when you see games like Assassin's Creed 4 or Assassin's Creed Unity, who were immensely rushed.
Yeah, Unity was the worst.
Unity being the worst example. And I mean, aside from Assassin's Creed, there's also like things that really made the decline even more prevalent, like when they mistreated the creator of Rayman Legends, or when they completely botched Splinter Cell
Dogs?
Blacklist and recast Michael Ironside for some other actor. And it's just a bunch of other things that just cascaded down. Ubisoft has been on the decline for a pretty long time, and not many people see it that early on because the nostalgia glass has blinded a lot of people. Where I saw this shit coming even back in high school. So as for Black Flag, taking aside the problems of Ubisoft, if we were to just judge Assassin's Creed on its own, like the game, I think despite the possibility that they would screw up the game because it's Ubisoft, I think this is the one and only chance on a technical aspect that Assassin's Creed Black Flag could get a fresh coat of paint and actually be better than the original, only because of the fact that the original had so many technical issues, like the Freedom Cry thing I mentioned earlier, as well as how a lot of the game was very bugged and glitched and even had crashing issues because of the rush job. There was also a serious lack in storytelling, because prior to Black Flag, you would either join the Order of Assassins early on, or you were already in the Assassins, speaking on like Brotherhood and Revelations, for example. And it took until literally the final mission of the story for Black Flag for you to join the Order of Assassins. And a lot of people did not like that at all. A lot of people didn't like Edward Kenway either. Everyone thought he was very poorly received. He was not very interesting to grasp compared to the other protagonists. People just weren't really a fan. It was very divided. And I think in many ways, what really made Black Flag great were obviously the gameplay. The gameplay was fine, as well as the ship shanties and ship combat, because those were the key highlights of Black Flag. And there was just a lot of issues from a list going up to down that Black Flag had. And they could seriously take this time to completely fix everything. If it involves rewrites, I'm welcome to a story rewrite if it's done properly. But that being said, with the whole female character dressing up as a man and pretending to be a man, society back in the day would really have certain women in history actually do that to really get away with being part of something that men typically do. You would see this in many forms, like Joan of Arc, for example.
Mhm.
But there is the worry, obviously, that they are going to do a trans situation with that, and hopefully not, because Ubisoft is slowly learning their lesson, but it's not enough of a lesson to learn to really fix the company as a whole. They've got a long way to go. I don't think they're going to hit that goal of fixing their company, because I think the company will die. But this is an opportunity for Black Flag to be better than the original. And I hope that's the case, because I've had so many issues with this game and I've complained about this game for over a decade. I just want this game to actually shine better. Graphically, I think Resynced looks good for what it is. The footage we saw, it obviously says work in progress, so it might be completely different by the time the game actually comes out, and that's probably early ass footage from before they announced the Resynced.
Well, yeah.
So only time will tell, and I'm
it only
gonna be
comes out in like
cautious-
3 months, but
right, but that could be old footage from like months ago.
they could have
all we
showed us
know.
new footage then if it was 3 months. from now.
Maybe, but that's you know how game studios are like. They're not going to show newer footage right off the bat until like later in the promotional cycle. But I'm all I'm saying is I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about this, because I don't think being fully optimistic is the right call for a Ubisoft game. But given what I've said, being cautiously optimistic is the right way to go.
Yeah, I hope they can pull it off. Like, it's nice, if only just because I was a fan of the original.
What I find very interesting, folks, is we're entering a period with Ubisoft where it's had its time, but it just won't die, in a sense. It still believes somehow that its best days are ahead of it. The problem is, though, it's not a single company anymore, because I think Tencent has decided that their version of Ubisoft should keep the Ubisoft name in order to move forward. Are you eating, Damien?
No.
Oh, suddenly the spoon stopped making noise though.
It's not a spoon. Thank you.
What is it
That's
then?
something. It's
Is it
my
a carrot?
It's my cat playing with something.
Aw.
Right?
Oh.
Right. Chuck it.
I'm not a lunatic. I'm not going to throw my cat.
Chuck it. Chuck it. There's not enough dealing with Elzo and his fucking cats. Okay? Good God.
Go put away the pussy.
Yeah. And get one you actually use. But in all seriousness, folks, I think we're entering a period where Ubisoft's reputation may rebuild, not just because of Ubisoft, but because of, as I said before, Tencent's Ubisoft, because they're going to blur the lines in order to utilize the brand to improve upon their projects, because it is an investment for Tencent. And Ubisoft at one time had a solid reputation, and they're going to try and ignite that. And if they do, well, it helps not just them, but also legacy Ubisoft in their resyncing processes with Assassin's Creed. And you guys should be lucky Ubisoft hasn't touched Rayman, because they probably do nasty things to Rayman in this day and age.
Well,
Did
I
you
saw
know
what
that?
Artie Shankar did to Rayman, and I hated it.
Oh my god, mentioning that Vegeta. Did you see the trailer for season 2 of
What?
DMC?
Yeah, it looks like it's another bait and switch. Like, like they cut out all that ham-fisted Bush era stuff, and there's going to be a lot of guilt mongering about the oppression of demons.
Oh, but did you see that Virgil was set free by Mundus?
Yeah, he got woke by Mundus.
We went from Ubisoft to Capcom right away.
Yep.
Listen, they all shit companies.
Look,
Well,
the comparisons are there. The
Capcom's
only
less
difference
shit,
between
but-
the only difference between Ubisoft and Capcom is Capcom got away with rewriting their own history.
Mhm.
Ubisoft hasn't yet.
Well,
Honestly,
why-
well, I'd say even though they might have rewritten their own history, their games are actually playable. They're not buggy.
Well, the thing about the original Resident Evil franchise is that it served a foundational core for horror as a game genre alongside Silent Hill, but then Konami decided to go absolutely insane for a good long period. Let's become a gambling company. Capcom thankfully didn't go that crazy, but I think the problem I have with Capcom is that they are willing to just take the things that made them and just completely rewrite them. Look at
Yeah.
Dead Rising as an
Yes.
example. There's a classic example. Let's take something that was a success and just completely rewrite it for our own
Yeah,
nefarious
take
purposes.
all the fucking edge out of what was like a crass
Yeah.
zombie game. It was an unapologetically crude, crass zombie game, and they tried to sandpaper it for this modern mass appeal audience while pissing
And
on the original fans.
and they
It's
didn't get
mostly
away
a
with it.
Microsoft thing, not really a Capcom thing, because Capcom sold exclusivity rights of Dead Rising to Microsoft, and Microsoft requested specific changes for their needs for Dead Rising 3 and 4. That's why it's pretty much shit. That and the fact that Microsoft and Capcom kind of, no pun intended, blue-balled Blue Point games.
I was talking about recent years. I wasn't talking about, say, when they originally released. I'm
Yeah,
talking
we're
about
talking about the deluxe remaster of the original. I know,
Yeah.
like how I actually kind of like 3, but that is where the downward
I didn't
spiral
fucking
began.
understand
And
it.
4 killed
Yeah.
the fucking franchise.
I get what you guys were talking about specifically. I'm just stating 3 and 4 was basically the beginning of that, and Microsoft is responsible for it.
Yeah, Microsoft destroy everything they touch. Just look
Well,
at Halo and
having
Gears of
like
War.
certain rooms you can only access by using an iPad app was really bad. That was a bad thing to do.
Crazy.
Like, you know, especially for replayability now, like does the app even still work?
Probably
I
not.
don't know. I have mixed feelings about Dead Rising, because honestly, if I'm just going to be fair, the last good Dead Rising game was Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. That was it.
And the last good Halo game was Halo 3. But no.
That's the better one.
It was either ODST or Reach.
No, for me, it's Reach, but 4 was average and was not terrible.
4 isn't as bad. The multiplayer sucks.
The
everything
multiplayer
that came after 4. It's
Halo 4
everything
multiplayer is ass. But
yeah.
campaign
let's
is fine.
consider, guys. A good portion of YouTube's figures wasn't even born when Halo Reach debuted.
But you know what's even funnier? All these games you're mentioning,
Digny, I have to ask, who really gives a shit about the newer people showing up after
They're
Reach?
the future.
They
future.
fuck their future.
They're the future. People who fuck our future are people with one foot in the grave in their 60s and 70s. My father's generation. Sorry to single out my own. Younger people. Younger people are the future. As I'm Kim Jong Digny for some reason. Okay? And if you want to look at the future, right? The future doesn't belong to Ubisoft. Ubisoft should be a dead company. Microsoft should be dying. Capcom should be declining. Not Capcom. Konami shouldn't even exist as a company. That's a company that does not deserve a redemption. But no, we've got Konami rising from the ashes. We've got potentially Ubisoft rising from the ashes. We've got Capcom, in my view, stronger than they've ever been with the recent success they've gone through. Capcom is living proof that what Ubisoft is trying to do can work. But instead of leading to the company's peak, it will lead to the company having a future for the next 10 to 20 years.
Honestly, when it comes to Konami, with the mistreatment of Kojima, as well as IPs like Silent Hill, Castlevania, and even Contra, and even Yu-Gi-Oh! For that matter.
Yeah.
I think this company is just flat out dead.
It does not deserve to be revived. And quite frankly, a good portion of games companies that exist in this day and age do not deserve to exist. Right.
Konami was very lucky that the
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 remake turned out well. Unfortunately, the game still had some censorship and woke bullshit in it.
Did they even make it?
No, it
I
wasn't
heard it
able
was
to
in
make it.
house.
No, Bloober Team made the
So,
The-
the
so
two
they're getting,
remake.
so they're getting credit for something they didn't even make.
Well, yeah, like
Well, I
they're
don't know
using
for
other,
on
like
this
even
one.
like this new Castlevania they're doing is made by the Dead Cell people.
Oh, for goodness sake. Look, folks, let's move on to the next topic before I constantly rant about games companies. Let's talk about consultation companies instead. No, Damien, you're supposed to say glock, 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 glock. You're good at
Well,
that.
yeah. This is a good pivot. Yeah, like get off the video games. Yeah, but actually,
Yeah.
it's still technically game related. So you guys all remember Sweet Baby Inc., right?
Yeah.
I wish
Our
I
good
didn't.
friends at Sweet Baby Inc., they've suddenly gone into hiding for quite a bit. Well, Master of the TDS, my good friend, found them.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
apparently they were more involved in Relooted than we originally thought. I'll
That's
read
our
his quote.
African game.
Yes.
So you guys remember Relooted, the Steelback
Yes.
reparations game? You already knew Kiss Cringe had formerly Sweet Baby Inc. did early design consultation on it. He also documented how a narrative-focused group tied to the game's messaging was using Relooted alongside the push around a French restitution bill on African artifacts, while the game itself was being launched in France. But it turns out SBI connections went deeper than that. A current Sweet Baby Inc. producer publicly lists Relooted among titles tied to Sweet Baby Inc. collaboration work. So this was not just a former SBI member touching the project early and moving on. Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with Relooted more directly than people were led to believe. Is anyone surprised?
No.
And I'm
Not
not.
really.
I think the surprise, and I don't want to speak for everyone on this panel, but I think the surprise is that we've allowed this company and its ilk to infest the industry. I think it's a failure on our part collectively as content creators to not ostracize these institutions into oblivion. And that's
But you
on
can't
us.
fight them. You
Of
cannot
course you
fight
can.
the infiltration. No, because the thing
course
is,
you can.
the people they use for this are the protected gender.
Look, let's face facts. You can deal with infiltrators very easily. Highlight the problem, find solutions, be the change you want to see. Total is very good. Total and Raven over at Gothic Therapy are very good at highlighting the problem. They're very good at highlighting the problem and finding solutions. In fact, most content creators are good at the first two steps. But unfortunately, very few of us, as I look like Kim Jong-un for this segment, find it very difficult to be the change that we want to see, because the trump card the opposition has is their institutional power. And the only way to weaken institutional power is to reject it. The problem we have as content creators is that when we try to build alternatives as part of a parallel economy, our first instinct is to crush alternatives. Look at Eric July and the Rippaverse. It's a fantastic example, whether you think it's good or not. It's a fantastic example of a creator-based corporation that highlighted the problem with comics, found solutions to those problems, and actively became the change that they wanted to see. Unfortunately, that's not an easy endeavor. It's an endeavor that costs hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, which has been regained back. But that's a big process. Anyone here a closeted millionaire? I know most of the panel is closeted in one way, shape, or form, but I don't think anyone here is financially closeted to the point where I can do Dash Attack Comics and I can make a comic book called The Xeeninator, right? Got Xeen. Think of Xeen and the Terminator, right?
Nah,
He
No,
streams all day, every day.
right? I mean, the Xeeninator versus the Dignifier, okay? it takes a lot of resources to actively build an institution to knock down another institution. That takes time, that takes money. And it also takes an organization that we simply lack. The vast majority of content creators who become successful at doing this through highlighting the problem and finding solutions are mostly fame and fortune hunters, like the Quartering. He's an egregious example, but he's far from the only egregious example. He's just the one being torn to pieces now by opportunistic folks who want to make a name for themselves. Now, that's not a bad thing. We all want to grow one way or another, guys, I'm sure. It's just.
And you can also grow horizontally.
Oh, yes, in your case, definitely. Well, in your boyfriend's case, definitely. But the point I'm trying to make with all this is the fact this company and its operatives are still operating is a sign of the last few years being a complete and utter failure. Despite the
Damn.
many successes in gathering support to expose it, it's still there.
Well,
that's why
I mean, they've gone into hiding essentially.
have.
So, like, companies like they demanded that their brands not be seen with the Sweet Baby thing. Like the president of Square Enix was asked by a Japanese shareholder if they were still doing business with the company, and he dodged the question.
Well,
But that's the thing. The fact that he dodged the question means that they're still willing to work with SBI.
Yeah.
Possibly.
We haven't done enough to put the final nail in the coffin, basically.
Well, it's hard to do that without unity and organization scene, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
know.
the thing is, if they're hiding their work, they can't grow as a business.
That's true, but that requires a continuous process. Folks, I was there. I was there when Sweet Baby Inc. was exposed. I was one of the first people to interview Cabrutus about that phenomena and how they tried to bring him down. I knew for a fact that wave of quite literal exposition, folks, in exposing Sweet Baby Inc. and its ilk would last at best a year, and it didn't even last a year before folks were tearing themselves to pieces. The opposition know the playbook. They stay underground, they stay inactive for about a year, they watch the people who expose them, divide amongst themselves between moderate and radical, those who seek fame and fortune against those who actually want to deal with the fucking problem. And then, after both factions rip each other to pieces, they reemerge and continue doing what they did, now facing a divided opposition that will as likely attack one another as the very thing that brought them all together, rightfully or wrongfully.
But the thing is, this exact same thing happened during Gamergate.
Yes,
It's the same problem that repeats itself.
and it stems from two issues, Damien. Issues that the opposition, the left, the socialists, the communists, have in spades: unity and organization. Libertarians hate the concept of unity and hate the concept of organization. Conservatives, for the most part, are feckless, and nationalists are, quite frankly, crazy. They're lunatics. It's hard to build a unified, organized coalition out of those factions of people for a long period of time.
Oh no, true. But the other problem is it's the fact that no one at any point is willing to step forward and make themselves the sacrificial leader that we need.
Well, that's the thing. That's the key word: sacrificed. We've seen plenty of people who try to be the change they want to see get wiped out. You're listening to one of them. And
Yeah,
that's
true,
the
but-
separation. And that's the separation, guys, between the moderate creators, who, for the most part, are very good at highlighting the problem and finding the solutions, gaining fame and fortune as they do it. It's hard to continue that gravy train if the problem is fixed. We see this politically with endless wars. It's hard to make money off of foreign conflicts if the wars dry up. Same applies to the culture war. And I'm not going to use the typical buzzwords because I don't believe in them. I think they undersell the problems we are experiencing. But if we are to actively deal with this problem, we have to take a more active approach rather than a more passive approach. Exposing these people clearly isn't enough. Could you press on that image, Dash? Because I want people to understand this. Because if we don't really address this, the culture war as a concept will never end. Never. It'll keep going and going and going because it benefits those fighting it on either side. So you look at this individual in question. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
so
press
the games
yeah.
listed are God of War Ragnarok, Alan Wake 2, South of Midnight, Winter Burrows, Wu-Tang, The Rise of the Deceiver, After
Mhm.
Love EP, a game you know very well, Zazu Tales
a game that
Zao.
should die.
and Reloaded.
Yeah.
But hold on, before you continue. But I was told by so many people that God of War Ragnarok wasn't well.
Yeah, and they're the same people who could be sympathetic to the opposition, or they just simply enjoy the game, or they want to amass fame and fortune singing its praises or condemning it. It's
Oh,
not in itself a bad thing, folks, to want fame and fortune as a content creator. What's bad is that you're not open, honest, and transparent enough to tell your audience that. Look at the quartering. He's a
Mhm.
fantastic man who wants to expose the opposition and speak truth to power. But let's face it, the man's made a lot of, gotten a lot of fame and gotten a lot of fortune doing what he's done, even if he is drowning in debt currently because he's trying to hire. If I hired people for this show, we wouldn't have a show quartering. It's content creation 101, you daft
Mhm.
prick. But this individual, whose this individual's name?
Maria Beck, probably
Maria
a
Beck,
dude.
right. Why isn't this person the next Chris Kindred? Why isn't information about this person everywhere? Because this is LinkedIn, so this is publicly available information.
Yeah, well, LinkedIn is it's just Moose Isley with a
Yeah,
professional
yeah. Get off LinkedIn. If any of you are on LinkedIn, get off it. They're mining all your data. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm not kidding.
and their leader is literally a communist. That the
Yeah.
guy who runs the site. He funds he's like another George Soros.
He's a lunatic, but
A Jew?
maybe a wedge. But quite
Aside from
frankly,
SBI, I think fucking Chris Kindred's fucking worse than what SBI has labeled him as.
Well,
Especially
that's
when you have the motherfucker mocking Akira Toriyama after his death, calling him a racist. Fuck that dude.
Well, that's why
the thing
we know.
is,
But Damien, we know about this individual, this kindred creature. We can expose it and showcase it, and ultimately it gets ostracized. That's not happening to Maria. No, it's just used as an example, as a means to an end to reinforce a previous point. And I'm not criticizing Total or Raven because I think Gothic Therapy have done very well in their endeavors.
They're
But
great.
as Xeen mentioned earlier, you've got to put the final nail in the coffin. And the problem most moderate creators have is they don't have the stomach to put the final nail in the coffin.
Well, the thing
because
is, if you really highlight the problem and stuff, they'll cry harassment, and then they'll.
You got to take the rough with the smooth, Dash. And that's the war of the culture war, isn't it, Dash? Right? When the enemy's survival is at stake, they'll use whatever it takes to defend themselves. So that's why, because I want people to know this is not easy. Doing this is not easy. It looks easy. It's just talking, but it's not easy. It is called a culture war for a reason. If we aren't willing to put the final nail, as Xeen said, final nail in the coffin, then the opposition will, and none of us will be left. Because they know how to get rid of us. They do. All the building blocks there to deplatform any creator who could be too big of a danger. They have that blueprint. We don't have the same blueprint to deal with them, and we need to build it. We can't afford to, well, quite literally in the fame and fortune hunters, they will not be able to afford being merciful to these people because they'll get deplatformed and they'll get wiped out. And the gravy train stops, the fame stops, the fortune stops, and all the contacts just turn to dust because you're in exile, faded away. Very few people can survive exile, folks. Very few. But this person isn't being nailed to the wall as the next Chris Kindred, when quite clearly Montreal, Quebec, Canada, hybrid worker, French Canada, the most egregious, folks, the most egregious form of white person, a French Canadian. I can bash a white woman French Canadian, and I'll only be accused of sexism, right? But if this individual was a Creole based in like French Caribbean, oh, you'd be accused of so much more. You've got to weaponize their efforts against them. And that's why I think it's very important for people to put aside their differences and recognize, yes, you're a bad person, but you're a means to an end to deal with the opposition, quite frankly. Even if you are a slimy, closeted furry who loves jacking off to Lucario, okay? You're a means to an end. You're a goddamn weapon, even if I have to wash my hands after utilizing you as a weapon, okay? Any of you guys watched Invincible? You got Cecil, who's quite frankly a cunt, right? And
he's like the best character.
Yeah, he's a bit of a cunt, but he believes in redemption. He believes in redemption because he can use the people that his GDA have beaten to defend the planet, right? Do you want to be a good guy, or do you want to save the world? Can't be both. Sometimes you got to be a cunt to get things done.
Well, that's what they got to form. He got a former villain to work for him in the last season.
Yeah, and now he's making undead super creatures. Those Reanimen freak me out.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
but I would happily turn all of you into one if it helped us.
You necrophile.
That is a very bad word, Damien.
Yeah. So like, go with like this Maria. Like this LinkedIn hasn't been updated in 4 years and 3 months.
Oh no! So that 4 years, 3 months thing. It's how long ago they had that trouble. How long they still work?
Oh, okay. So how do we know when it was last updated?
So you won't actually see when it's been updated. If it's basically been an update to an existing job, it'll just go along with the normal time.
Well, yeah, 4 months.
I know this because I have a LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, you better get off LinkedIn because they're taking all your data.
I once used LinkedIn early on after I graduated to try and find jobs. It did not fucking help me in one bit.
My goodness. Use Indeed like a boomer. But in all seriousness, folks,
I used Indeed also. Fuck.
We're in a period, because it is getting close to the halfway point in 2026, and we're getting into a period where more and more I've come to suspect that the mindset isn't to end the culture war. The mindset is to keep it going as an endless war to amass fame and fortune. And it's not one side or the other, it's every side involved. If I keep fighting you, if I keep exposing you, if I keep making the content showing how bad you are, I can make a name for myself and do very well. But you can also make a name for yourself covering me. None of it has to be conspiratorial. No one even has to talk. It's just a cause and effect situation.
I think I know where you got this idea from. The recent DOJ filings on a certain organization.
That only adds fuel to the fire. I don't think either side is financing one another. I wouldn't even go that far. I think it's simply a cause and an effect that's completely natural. and organic. But let's face facts. Those individuals that had the means or the will to actually try and end this conflict of one shade or another have either been suppressed, deplatformed, or completely wiped out. On both sides, by the way. The most supposedly egregious of either side have been isolated, condemned, and destroyed. And very, very few of those people have found ways to resurrect themselves through one nefarious means or another. But
Hey,
it just
Alucard, is
goes-
it good now?
Yeah, everyone just randomly cut out for whatever reason.
Ah,
That's perfectly fine. Yeah,
But
it's bad when everyone's a cartoon, though. But the point I'm trying to make is what we are going to see ultimately, I believe, is a sort of peace of the two sides, the two most moderate of either side, and it will end, this culture war will end by these two moderate sides coming together to wipe out the radicals of each side. Like politics, for example. Content creators will create their own like uniparty and cut out the most loyal, dedicated creators and viewers of either side who
well, you kind
do
of
not
see
want to make
that now.
peace.
Like, you have like all these splintered clips.
Yep.
You have the bigot verse, you've got
Yep.
like network fans, and then you've
Yep.
got like the side scrollers, and
Got
then you have like
FNP.
the old guard with geeks and gamers and nerdrotic.
Mhm.
And it's just like, it's all splintered, and everyone is different things. Everyone's like some form of like non-leftist, or like maybe even left of center.
You've even got YouTubers and Rumblers and Kickers. Everyone on Kick is a criminal, folks, because let's face it, you've got to be egregious to do well on Kick. You got Twitchers. The problem we have, which is, I think, a universal problem with content creation, is that there aren't any rules. There are only guidelines, which means systems can be abused. What do the people in power want?
They want money.
They want money. They want new blood, new talent that is obsessed with fame and fortune, that has little to no principle, and who is willing to be moderate for the sake of the fame and fortune they have amassed. No people of principle, no radicals on either side, regardless of their ideology, and creating this cultural uniparty that will ultimately come together to make peace. And that will be
the safe tubers, like, like the people that try and like not like lean to any side, but maybe they lean like sort of to the left.
I'll give you an example, because I don't want to give you like vague talk points. I'll give you guys an example. 2 examples. Asmongold and Hassan Piker.
Woo!
Right.
What? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. They are. Meat Cannon made a fantastic parody video about it. They are essentially the embodiment of the cultural uniparty. And you check out Meat Cannon's channel. He made a video about it.
I am familiar with Meat Cannon. I did know he did make a Hassan and Asmongold video, and I saw they were like conjoined.
Yeah. There's a reason for that. Because while they hate each other, rightfully, for various reasons, they are both embodiments of the kind of creator the zeitgeist wants. The cultural zeitgeist, not the political one. Because there are different zeitgeists for different things. But in terms of the online zeitgeist for content creation and live streaming, Hassan and Asmongold are the models, especially on sites like Twitch. And look, I don't like Twitch. I don't think anyone here likes Twitch.
Nah.
The most watch hours of any platform is still on Twitch. To this day. It hasn't changed. Twitch, YouTube, I think Facebook is after that. I'm talking strictly live streaming. Then it's Kick. Then it's other. Rumble isn't even included in the statistic.
Well, you don't even know with Rumble because they could just not be even recording the statistic in the first place.
Yeah,
Well, they
Rumble
should.
is very far behind as technology wise.
Yeah. But the fact is, Xeen, unfortunately, they have to. Because if ever a company is to survive in this space, they have to be open, honest, and transparent. Twitch, for all of its faults, has been completely open. Yes, of course we favor people. Of course we put people on the front page who don't deserve it. Remember that one time, Dash, when they put a furry, like
diaper
a
furry.
Yeah, the
diaper
diaper
furry
guy.
on the front page of Twitch, and it caused so much of a backlash that his entire
Yeah, it wasn't
creative
just
journey.
any furry though. It was a diaper fur.
Yeah,
And
diaper fur.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that situation, guys, as egregious and wrong as it was, that situation is living proof. The people have no problem with that thing if it's not pushed into the zeitgeist, but they have a problem with that thing when it is pushed into the zeitgeist, which means something bad or egregious is allowed to exist on a platform, just up to a certain level. Either it should be allowed to exist and grow and seek fame and fortune, as disgusting as it is, or it shouldn't be allowed at all. But the digital world we live in, especially on YouTube and Twitch and even other platforms as well, X, is that you're allowed to have certain views and push certain mindsets up until a point. If you become too popular, that makes you too dangerous and you have to be destroyed. We don't exist in a system where either it's allowed or it's not. We live in a system where it's allowed up to a point, and that is wrong. That is worse than living in a censorious society. If Xeen had 100,000 subscribers, he'd be wiped off of YouTube. Still espousing the same views, doing the same things, having a great time, not changing in the slightest. But if he was far more popular than he currently is, he'd probably be wiped out. And I dare say the same thing for everyone else on this panel.
I mean, like the
personally
problem
gone through
is like not to like bring into like politics and like Trump or anything, but like Trump does not give a shit about the culture war other than boosting his own political things.
Yeah,
Like
no-
he does not. He got rid of like the DEI stuff, but he's not that. It's not really like fixing like the woke stuff. Like a lot of it was built under him.
Yeah, and he'll pay the price for that after he leaves office when he rots in jail the same way the Brazilian president suffered that fate after he left office.
Thank you, Lieutenant Giratina for the
Giratina.
raid. Yep.
Don't worry, guys. Dash gets nervous when people like him. That's why I constantly back him all the time. Because this is what I've learned, folks. Whenever a creator is a bit nervous or a bit, I don't know what to do, piss them off. It may not help you on your creative journey, but it will help them because there's nothing like annoying a motherfucker to stop them, tripping up on their words.
Oh, so is that what you've been doing with me?
Of course. Yeah, people take it the wrong way, but I want you to get better. Look, I've been doing this for long enough. I know how to deal with situations, even if everyone on this panel rejected me. You don't think I can't replace everyone here? So
I doubt you'd find someone like me.
I will literally make
Damien's one of a
someone like
kind.
you if I'm desperate enough, Damien. But the point is, I want you guys to improve and get better. Right? That's what I want. If it means pissing you off and getting you flustered and angry, and it'll help you speak more effectively and more passionately, then I'm doing my job. But I don't like telling you that because it has to be organic. It can't be synthetic. Because it just
he's
doesn't work the same
reality
way.
based.
Yeah, well, at least that's what I learned, right? And that's why I am the way I am, because I want people to get better, because I want people to see that if we stay stuck in this loop, it's just going to get worse for everyone involved. It's like you guys watch Game of Thrones, right? When Daenerys Targaryen kept talking about the wheel, right?
Yep.
Breaking
Break the
wheel.
wheel. Break the
Break,
wheel.
break the fucking wheel. Even if it drives you mad, break the fucking wheel. Otherwise, it'll break you. And I mean, you specifically. It'll break Dash, Xeen, me, Galaxy. Probably already broken me. Damien, Alucard. It's going to break everyone. Look at the quartering. He snapped.
Oh.
Look at Jack Murphy. He snapped. Look at Boogie 2988. He snapped. DSP snapped fucking 15 years ago.
Nick Rekieta.
Nick Rekieta snapped. This wheel, we have to break the wheel
To be
before
fair.
it breaks us.
To be fair,
And it
DSP broke and didn't know he broke.
Well,
Yeah.
that man literally sacrificed his soul for fame and fortune.
He's
fame and
literally the
fortune-
epitome of retardation.
He is like
Yeah.
the definition of a lolcow.
Yeah. But he has
I
fame
love
and
what-
fortune of a kind.
I love watching his gameplay live streams. Like
Well,
whenever
you
I
just
feel
love
bad,
watching men.
no. I have standards, and DSP doesn't meet them.
Damn. It's just this whole concept of these egregious entities and individuals working on these nefarious game projects. It's perfectly fine to expose them, keep exposing them. But what are we actually going to do to ensure their poison doesn't spread? We have to utilize the weaponry available in a conflict. The opposition's using chemical weapons, biological weapons. They're using the nuclear weapons of content creation. It's not a fair fight if we don't use the same weapons and the same tactics. All right? You can't be principled in a conflict, because if you do, you're going to die. Now,
You have
in
to
a
use all
content
tools
creation-
in possession.
Exactly. Xeen makes a fantastic point, right? And death as a content creator doesn't have to be physical. It just means everything you've ever made gets wiped out. Every connection you've ever made with another creator just fades away. That is the thing that we have to stop. It's too late for us. We have to stop that for future generations, who will suffer the same fate we have and the same fate previous generations of creators have.
I literally just heard someone's stomach grumbling in the mic.
Oh, damn. I
Oh,
didn't
is
hear
that
anyone. It's probably
possible?
yours. It's probably yours. I ate
No.
many carrots
I
before
I
today's
ate
show.
Yeah.
I ate before the show.
I
Not
heard
me.
something, but I wasn't sure who it was.
It literally sounded like
It's Xeen. Xeen's hungry. But yeah, we're getting close
Yeah, he
to the
did say it
2-hour.
was-
It's all right. Don't worry. We are getting close to the 2-hour mark. Dash, you could hold off this topic to next Friday, because I don't think it's going to disappear.
Okay,
Anytime,
yeah.
yeah.
So I got one more story about Yoshi. If you want to do one more, or if you want to end the show here.
We like to keep the show at around 2 hours. We don't want to.
All right,
don't
yeah.
wanna
Then let's
hang on.
dive in. Let's dive into the Yoshi bit. Yeah. So I found out the new Yoshi game. Well, it's just another crazy decision by Nintendo to make this more of a puzzle game than a 3D platformer. Here from Saved You a Click games, you can't die or get hurt in Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and there is no timer. So basically, there's no game over. Then, or what's the challenge? Is it just a puzzle game, or is it what's the appeal?
But didn't the previous Yoshi game do the same thing?
I didn't
Didn't-
play that one.
I know, but I figured it. But it seemed like it, from what I can remember, it didn't have a timer or anything either.
Or
So-
what about
Well-
damage or enemies? Or
I don't know about
Yossi
that.
Yossi Yarn,
Epic
you
Yarn,
just lost beads when you got hit or fell in the pit. You never died.
oh,
you
well,
just lost
there
speed
is at
and-
least some penalty.
No, that wasn't.
I think for a while the main idea that they've been doing for Yoshi for a while has been to cater to casual crowd or children who are just getting into gaming for the first time.
Yeah, seems that way. But it's funny considering how difficult Yoshi's Island is, or even Yoshi's Story a bit.
Yeah, but those are before this strategy, obviously, because like that's
Yep.
when Nintendo actually gave a shit about content.
Yoshi! Yoshi! Why do you get Donald Glover to do that when I can just do Yoshi? Why?
He is the new voice
mean,
of Yoshi. I
well,
honestly,
yeah.
I was really worried when he got announced as the cast. He actually did his part really well. And man,
I mean,
easy pay,
it's like
man.
that's right.
I
Very
fucking
easy
hate
paycheck.
Hollywood. I hate Hollywood with a passion. I swear.
This is
I mean,
America.
They could have just took
Yoshi,
the sound
Yoshi.
effect from the games.
Oh,
Yoshi,
how
Yoshi.
much you want to bet there's a This Is America parody with just Yoshi?
Sooner
I
or
don't
later,
know.
I'm just gonna imagine Yoshi with tan pants and a gun.
Yep. Black Lives Matter. She.
This is
Okay.
America.
Yep. Quite frankly, we are dealing with a situation that can be easily described as this. Don't cast black people as animals. It's racist.
But Digny, representation matters.
Idris Elba should have been Donkey Kong in the first Mario movie, not Seth Rogen.
I wouldn't.
I think.
I'd be like
I think
it, but
Donald
people
Glover.
would use it racism. Yeah,
I think Donald Glover would be perfect for Donkey Kong because
This is America.
Well, I think
He's
they
black.
both would have. Well, I was going to say they both have a better voice than Seth Rogen anyway. So
yeah. Seth Rogen was a complete. I don't know. I just don't personally like Seth Rogen. So like,
It's going to be the
I
bad
just
guy.
wish he'd.
as
I
Alan.
wish he would. I wish he'd stop being cast in things, especially like just stick in his dude weed comedy schlock.
He's okay. He's okay in a few things, but that doesn't mean that he's great in everything. Like it's
Yeah.
He's
mostly.
going to be.
well, yeah.
I would say
he's
like
gonna-
out of if you had to pick like 10 things he would voice act in, he's like good in 2 of them.
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
hasn't been.
An example is Invincible. as
I haven't
Alan.
heard him
Yeah.
say anything politically stupid in a long while since he yelled at Gina Carano on Twitter.
I think as a person, I think he's a garbage human being that
Yeah.
should get shafted. The only voice acting Seth Rogen has done that I actually approve of is Invincible and Kung Fu Panda, and that's it.
Well, the great thing about him in his Invincible role is that he's going to be there throughout the whole thing. Alan the Alien's going to be the bad guy, folks, in the new season. And the season 4 of Invincible recently ended.
Mhm.
Although Amazon confirmed season 5, they haven't confirmed season 6. But
Yes.
Kirkman is considering anywhere between 7 to 9 seasons for a
Really?
run.
Kirkman doesn't typically confirm another season past another season until a given season is done with production. So, like, we know about season 5.
Well, we need season 5 before
have-
season 4 finished.
if
but-
I
they
still need to
did-
finish season 4. I haven't started yet.
I'm on.
Wait,
I still have one
I think
episode left.
I think you'll
But-
enjoy the majority of it.
yeah.
I
Last episode, I wouldn't really. It was nothing.
Yeah.
Wait,
It was
if
okay.
there-
do
but
people
yeah.
actually watch the show?
if
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
if the show
That's
actually does get a 6th season, they won't announce it until season 5's production ends.
And quite frankly, I have a soft spot for Amazon Prime because of the Grand Tour. I always enjoy that show. And I enjoy The Boys because Homelander is the greatest hero ever. I enjoy I enjoyed the very first season of Invincible. The whole thing with the multiverse really hit me for 6, even though it is distinctively in the comics it's based on. But I've thoroughly enjoyed what I've watched of Invincible, and the great thing about it is that if it does get to 9, I think they should do 9 seasons because there's a lot of material to use as inspiration, and then they can do potential spin-offs and what ifs. My favorite what if is Conquest. He becomes Carl, and people are doing artwork of Carl being on Earth and being nice and having a family. Right? It's incredible when evil supermen can be better immigrants than Somalians. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the last episode of Dash Attack Old White Road.
Gee,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah, suppose you got to
Jamie.
end on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
Got Jade.
great what a
Yep.
great way to end it. You just conflate the show with Somalians.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah, you got Steve Harvey, you've got J. Jonah Jameson, you've got Freddie Mercury, and you've got
Yeah.
a fucking amazingly hot lady who does a very bad thing in the comics.
Yes.
To
And they're probably are
Invincible.
going to do it. Yes.
In other words, guys, according to Digny, we're all a bunch of really smelly black people who smell like garbage.
That's ridiculous. That's fake news. That only applies to Damien. But now it's
I
time
am
for
not black.
you're Indian. It's close enough.
Listen,
You're like
I have
Niall
some
Haley.
I have some German attitude.
Everyone knows.
Damien wants to be
Somalians smell like raw sewage.
Aryan so bad.
No, it's pronounced A. Ryan Dash.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey,
I
Ryan.
know a name. I know a man named A. Ryan.
Oh,
That's a
Good. I hope you
Okay.
don't know him too well, but future plans, we'll start off with Dash.
all right. We're gonna play Mario Galaxy tonight. That's the plan, and just just keep an eye out for more of my content. We'll probably be on with Vistro tomorrow.
And be sure to check out Dash Attack's OnlyFans page. Link in the description down below for more. He does a lot of collaborations with great creators. He recently did a video with Damien for the 5th time.
And don't forget
Uh,
his OnlyFans shop where he sells bottles of his own coom.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's
wouldn't
a
that
sad
be a
fact.
grift?
You gotta make money in this economy somehow, right?
Yeah,
I've got
desperate
Jace.
times, desperate measures.
Yeah, I got Jace selling his blood and his white stuff for money to keep his bills being paid. I told Jace, you've got to be a father. So donate to a sperm bank. You'll father 500 kids. Okay? We're going to have to seriously start doing that for everyone.
Buy
We're
up
gonna have-
desperate coom in bulk.
No, in all seriousness, because of the population problem, they're going to pay us to be all of us, to be sperm donors in the future, to deal
Yeah.
with the population. Even Damien, he's like, no, you gays, we got to have kids from you gays
God.
too.
That's
All
like
of
the-
you.
Oh,
That's like the
quartering
lots of
is it's so
Yep.
funny. I was responding to quartering, retweeting that Christian Korean guy. I forget his name. We've talked about
Common?
him on the show,
Oh,
but
commonly.
they were talking about Dave Rubin and the discourse about like surrogacy, and I'm like, it's like, nah. I don't know where I was going with
What-
this, but
Yeah.
No.
I was
I think-
just think it's interesting that they're like,
Mm.
we have this population crisis, and like,
do.
they're completely against like any form of surrogacy.
Yeah.
What Digny said
No,
about
no, no.
population crisis reminds me of World's End harem.
Oh, damn.
Nice reference.
Yeah, they still, we're talking about the literal future, folks. So I think it's appropriate for future plans, but I think it's going to enter a point where we are going to be incentivized financially to donate not just sperm but blood as well, because there is that demand because of the resources. I mean, they are technically renewable resources, guys, if you want to get messy with it. And, as long as they manage things properly and no one inbreeds, because you got to be careful with that sort of thing, then we can all make money and keep humanity going. That sounds great, doesn't it?
Especially if you gotta avoid inbreeding, because you don't want Cletus to have a third eye.
Oh, damn.
Mm.
Oh, damn. But what about you, Xeen? Are those future plans very interesting to you?
Hmm. Well, my future plans. My next stream will be tomorrow, Saturday. No stream today.
Good.
Mhm.
Good. We appreciate you, Xeen.
Yeah, I mean, not very much exciting news. I mean, Yeah.
Dead air.
right. Yep. Dead air. Dead air. Airhead
I thought he was
moment.
going
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, he does this.
I just thought he
Yes.
was going to say something else. We gotta merge Galaxy and Xeen together, right? It'd be the perfect balance.
No,
Someone who
Xeen-
talks a lot
no.
versus someone who doesn't talk at all.
Xeen had his dead air Dickers moment.
Oh no! At least he has his shirt on, though.
Yeah. Well, to our knowledge.
Yeah, well, Dash hasn't, to our knowledge. Right. My future plans. Didn't make any videos today, but expect some videos tomorrow and onwards for the rest of April. We appreciate everyone's support as we keep on going and hopefully keep on growing. I think the priority moving forward really is survival at this point, because we're going to enter a point into the late 2020s, early 2030s, where if you don't love trans people, you're getting deplatformed.
Really?
Yeah, President Gavin Newsom, President Kamala Harris, President Abigail Spanberger, President Josh Shapiro, all those people. You won't be able to say boo to a troon. Okay? Did that rhyme? Nearly.
Almost.
Oh man, you're such a
Almost.
black pillar, man. All right.
They
Hey.
won't succeed.
Hey, you call me a black pillar. You're the one inviting them.
They won't succeed.
Come on, guys.
Anyway,
Come on.
All right. Well, moving on. Hey, Alucard, what are your future plans?
Hey, why are we going to Galaxy?
yeah,
Oh.
I should be next.
All right,
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Anyway.
What are your plans?
Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Breath of Fire 2 again tomorrow. Since this is my first week back to streaming, so it's just yeah. And earlier when you were talking about the quartering and stuff, the person you were thinking of was Kangmin Lee.
Yeah, commonly.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I have my schedule out for next week too on Sunday. It's going to be pretty much similar to what I had this week, but so yeah.
Excellent. We appreciate you, Galaxy. We appreciate everyone here. I just discovered a cosplayer cosplaying as one of the characters in Invincible. You guys know the character Lucan, who looks like
yeah,
Steve
I know
Harvey?
I know who you're
Yeah,
talking
there's-
about.
There's a cosplayer that looks just like him, and it's hilarious. And there's also a cosplayer that looks like Thrag, and it's
Yep.
scary. They could literally make a live action version of Invincible using these people, and it would be quite terrifying. But the animation budget would be awful, so they wouldn't be able to do anything. Damien, future plans?
Future plans, doing the normal streaming thing. I do need to upload my video on the old Saikuno situation of last week. It was a very fun time for VTubers.
No?
Oh, you don't know about
Yeah,
this?
it was a big scandal. Basically, like this dumb bitch, thought canceled the wrong person because of a troll.
Oh, no. Saikuno is a different situation. He was sleeping with a lot of content creators.
Ah, okay, yeah, different scandal.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
but basically all the women involved were whores of one degree or another.
My goodness, who doesn't sleep with their fellow content creators? I mean,
Me.
seriously.
I haven't slept with
Well, that's
Dash
because-
yet.
You're just starting.
Damien, that's because you can't get to them. Okay.
Yeah, he's out in another country.
I just want to make it clear, full disclosure. Yes, content creators meet up to have sex with each other. That's literally the whole point of a meetup. They put the meat. They put the meat in the meetup. That sounds like Bill Clinton, not Donald Trump. Oh damn.
We need a Bill Clinton Digny.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, we don't.
Oh, come
No,
on.
There you go. Here's Bill Clinton Digny.
Oh god.
Let's try Ted Cruz Digny. But thank you for your future plans, Damien. How about you, Alucard? What are your future plans?
After this, I'm gonna be streaming today about 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna be playing some more Metal Gear Solid 2. Recently, yesterday, I finished a long playthrough that I started back when I started streaming. So after today, I'll be on a week-long hiatus. Coming back from that hiatus, I'll end up doing Persona 4 Golden and Metal Gear Solid 2 in rotation for game streams. But yeah, today's my in terms of hiatus, today's my last day streaming, and I'll be doing Metal Gear Solid 2. Unless I hit tier 1, then it'll be delayed by a day, and then I have to fucking do another stream.
Well,
But
best
yeah,
of
that's
luck
it.
to you, Alucard. We appreciate you for being here. Fingers crossed, everything goes well. Onwards into the future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for watching the 32nd episode of Dash Tech's Old White Road. You could have been watching New Blackstreet, but you decided to watch this show, which is
Yep.
far better and brighter and less ghetto-y. Is that the right
Get
word?
away.
I thought
It's
you,
because-
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say
because
less black.
It's because everybody came here specifically for Dash's you know what.
Yes.
I
Yes,
have
in fact-
that effect on people. But yeah,
Look, we appreciate all of you people for being here. The reason we do this show at this time is to make sure New Blackstreet doesn't get their hands on any of these great people. Okay.
all right.
Bye for now, guys.
Bye for
Daniel?
now.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.